Cool. So I'm Matt Spaccarelli. I'm co-owner with my partner Casey Erdman of Fjord Vineyards, and my family owns Balmoral Winery here in the Hudson River region, which is a very large AVA in New York. We're located about 60 miles north of Manhattan. Wineries and vineyards are spread across both sides of the river, with most of them being within, I want to say, 15 to 20 miles of the river. And a lot of the river's moderating effects have to do with the mountains that lie outside of it and kind of funneling that air in from the Atlantic Ocean. So in general, the closer you are to the river, the warmer you are, but that really depends because the terrain of the Hudson Valley is just all over the place. 200 million years ago, the Laurentide ice shield kind of came through and carved the Hudson Valley. And like any, glacier terrain, picking things up and putting it down, sometimes in really convenient orientations and sometimes not so convenient orientations. The slope changes so much that we don't have any what we'd call like monolithic blocks of soil or even orientation at that point. Our biggest block is 8 acres and it goes from southeast to southwest facing in 8 acres. I think it's exciting that we have these kind of really unique opportunities to maybe grow certain things or certain styles of grapes that we know we can grow here, but it's also super challenging because you joke around, you spend more time driving on your tractor to the vineyards than you spend in the vineyards themselves. We've been trying to focus in on Cabernet Franc. We have the Hudson Valley Cabernet Franc Coalition that a group of growers that are just saying, hey, we might not be the biggest producers of Cabernet Franc in the world or the country or the state, but it's something that we can do really well here in the valley. I believe it's a variety that I think we can make a name for the region with, but at the same time there's lots of other varieties being grown. Cabernet Franc, Chardonnay, Albarino has been a variety that we've experimented with and had really good luck. On the vinifera side, we got some Pinot Noir, Gamay, Blaufränkisch, a little bit of Merlot, which not a good idea in the sense of cold hardiness. We can ripen it really well as we did last year, but it's a sensitive variety. And then on the hybrid side, there's experimentation with a lot of different varieties being grown. So La Crescent, Frontenac Gris, Marquette is another variety that's been planted around. And then some of the old-time varieties such as Deschinac, Marchal Foch. At Balmoral we used to grow a lot of Baco. So those are basically what everyone's grown. Oh, some Traminette too, which is another promising, I think, variety, especially when it comes to blending. And here in the Hudson Valley, we're, I'd say, mildly wet, but very humid. We have a lot of humidity here, really, really warm nights, which are beneficial because it lets us play a little bit of catch up in the growing season, but also is a challenge when it comes to disease pressure, especially late in the season. Embrace the vintage. If it's a cool summer, get ready to make something really light and pretty. And if it's a warm summer and we don't get any hurricanes pushing up the coast, play around with it. I guess that's what's kind of nice is when you're a small producer, there's a story to every vintage, and just don't be dogmatic is our approach. You can make pretty wine in a cool year, you can make beautiful wine in a warm year, and just as a grower, you have to be aware of it. And as a winery and approaching your customers, just be very transparent about it. How come you didn't oak your Cab Franc this year? It was because this is just a really pretty delicate wine, and in years that are warmer, be experimental. And I think that's part of what's exciting about growing in a region like this. New York is deemed cool climate, I think because we have cold winters, but it's brutal here in the summer too. As brutal as it is in the winter, it's warm, it's hot, it's humid, so we can ripen certain varieties really well, whether it's vinifera or hybrids, and also just embrace the vintage. I think too, our story has always been a little bit of like, you don't have to be the biggest to be wonderful. Yeah, it's an exciting place, especially outside the wine world too. You know, there's so much history in New York and the Hudson Valley specifically. So it's a great destination with great wine, great food. It's possible in your backyard, and it's happening now.